Hey everyone, happy Saturday. I hope you're well wherever in the world that you are today. It's beautiful here where I am. And anyway, just came back in from a walk and it's the place that I go to just, no one can talk to me, kind of escape the noise around me and really just kind of be still and listen. And I was praying about doing this video, so I tried to do this video yesterday. And in the middle of it, I just felt, it's not today, and maybe there's more revelation, maybe there's other questions that I needed to ask or seek, or it's one of these things that when you let yourself be used as a conduit, there's times that you just got to be quiet, and then there's times that you're supposed to open that mouth and let that thing come out. And so I'm going to try this video again today, and hopefully everything comes out that's supposed to. So I wanted to go back and talk about XRP because there was one dream that I didn't share that I'd forgotten about. And I call this dream, it's What's in a Name. And so in the dream, it was very short. I saw this piece of paper, and like I was looking like at a contract, some type of, felt like a legal document because it had signatures and stuff on it. And at the top of it, it said IMF 2004. So that literally, that was a dream. And I probably wouldn't even call it a dream. It was more of a vision in the middle of the night while I was asleep, because I remember like waking up immediately out of that. And I wrote down, on the side of my bed, I have a little piece of paper that I try to write stuff down on, because if I go back to sleep immediately in the morning, I'll be like, wait, what was that thing? And so I had written 2004 IMF. So that morning I get up and I just Google 2004 IMF. And it pulls up a YouTube video that this guy had done. It's still on YouTube. I looked before I got on, and he basically went through how in 2004, there was a form that was put out that had XRP in it. Okay, what's interesting about that is XRP was not said to have been created until 2012. So in 2004, XRP. Now, what's in a name? Because XRP in the IMF form actually stood for exchange rate peg. Now, some people say that there was no form, that wasn't true. But I remember the very first time I looked at it, there was a web address to the IMF that you could click on. I cannot find that. I don't know if it's been taken down or if I'm just illiterate on the internet right now. But it was listed over 400 times. And now people ask, okay, so was the exchange rate peg, XRP, did they use that because they knew that there was going to be a system in place to be the exchange rate peg? Or was there any type of XRP that was actually created way in advance that people just didn't know about? I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. That's not the revelation that the Lord gives me. It's just very interesting to know that there has been a plan in place. And that was the revelation that he basically gave me. What's in a name, know what's behind the name, and what is the plan that's been in place. So if you have watched any of my other videos on this, I basically just told you how the Lord had given me revelation and kept drawing me to this thing to look at. And one of the things too that makes, I think people get lost on or they forget, is that XRP, it's not like the other coins. It's an actual technology. So when I keep saying like, this isn't just about the monetary, like the physical money of something, but we're talking about an actual like new technology. Okay, so right now, SWIFT, if you know anything about the banking system, is the system that's being used. It's old, it's outdated. It's the system that international banks use to communicate to one another. And in one of the dreams that I had about XRP, it was basically, it had all of these like nodes and wires and all of these things. This is when I first started learning about the blockchain. And so I literally saw it as chains put together, but there were blocks between all of them. Like that's how literal my dream was, because I was like, I don't know. And I had written down in my journal, it had blocks connected to these chains. And then after I started learning about the blockchain technology, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, blockchain technology. So that was one of the ways, like the Lord will speak to you in the way that you can understand, because I didn't have a background in any of that. Okay, so that's not where my mind goes. And so as I started learning about that, I started learning about SWIFT and how that operates. And one of the very, I think, foundations things that we have to realize is that as technology evolves, and I say this all the time, it can be used for good or it can be used for bad, but there's advancements in technology that some people get very scared about because who's operating those technologies. And so that's why we have to be very prayerful, wise, seeking revelation on how do we use these things? What do we do with the revelations that we're given? And for me right now, I'm praying for leadership to be in place when these things come online that would use it for the good of humanity. And that the wealth that is being transferred, we are in a time right now of wealth being transferred. And I firmly, wholeheartedly believe that the reason that we have not seen it yet is because there are still institutions and systems in place that control a lot of things that if they had that wealth in their hands right now, it would be catastrophic for where we're going. And so be patient and know that all the timing and everything will come when it is supposed to. Because sometimes I'm like, why is that institution still going? Not just the financial institution, but media, government, health, the family, friendships, like any institution. Well, friendship's not really an institution, but corporate institutions. Because the thing about this too is about, like the corporate institutions at one point, they were supposed to be corporations to help society in general, the nations in general. And then it kind of got switched or flipped on its head of, well, no, the corporation will be used for the shareholders. Like we're going to do what's best for the shareholders. Well, then it became a place of money, right? And greed. So there's money that is going into people's hands right now that have been using it in negative ways. Not all people. There are some very amazing people who have funds that have been doing some very awesome projects, some very great things that many other people are about to step into. And when that becomes available and online, it's going to be like this. I'm telling you, like I've seen it over and over and over. When it happens, it's like this. It's that Exodus moment. You put your staff down, we all go, bam, and we do it together in the Red Sea parts. And it is a parting for all of these institutions. And so, we have to be patient though, because we don't want this kingdom reset to be put into the hands of people who are using it for the great reset. And so just be patient in that. And I know that there's so much information. And I also, when I talk about XRP, remember I have said XRP is oftentimes, yes, I've been shown that specific coin that is associated with Ripple, but XRP was also used for an exchange rate peg. So some of my dreams with XRP were not just about that coin, that it was very symbolic of humanitarian aid that would come out of that exchange rate peg, because that exchange rate peg would be given to people who would use it. I don't want to say this, of course, for the humanitarian aid, the good of all people, but it would also be placed in the hands of those who won't just let the greed overtake their hearts, because there comes a place of maturity that if you walk into that place and you're given something with that much power and responsibility, but you're not in a mature walk, what could happen to this thing right here? And so there is a peace and protection and love, like unconditional love, a place of maturity that many people are being raised in right now, so that when you get that exchange rate peg, whatever your exchange rate peg is to be used for, it doesn't destroy you. That instead is like this excitement and this joy and all the burdens that you've ever had, like you're getting to do something with those, all the things that you've walked through that you thought were going to kill you but only made you stronger, that you begin to be able to walk with somebody else and you're their exchange rate peg. So it's what's in a name, what's in your name, what is, like, have you ever looked up your name to see what it actually means? Everybody has to go look that up. Go look up your name. What is the origin of it? What does it mean? Where did it come from? And ask for a specific download revelation into your heart. What does my name mean? Like, why is that my name? So what is in a name? And so going back to, I think I didn't finish talking about the SWIFT system, but that system is very old. It's outdated. It's really slow. A lot of institutions right now that are operating, they're outdated, they're slow, and they gotta go. So that SWIFT system, let's just say that you're over in London right now and you want to transfer some money. Sometimes you have to wait 5 to 7 business days. On the new technology that's coming out, if you used XRP right now, you're not waiting at all. It's 3 seconds and it's there with like very little money. So when you're talking too about using let's look, Ethereum, their gas fees to use their system is very expensive. It's really expensive, where XRP's is not. So we're talking about using a system, a technology. We're not just talking about a certain coin that's out there, because I have seen that a lot of those are going to go away. And there's going to be probably some institutionalized things that are going to try to come around XRP and Ripple and all of that. And remember, Ripple and XRP are two different things. But the point of it is that as we watch this lawsuit, there's so much that's going on with that. And someone posted in the comments of one of my other videos that one of their friends said they had a dream that SEC lawsuit, that it wasn't one. I've never been shown it. People ask me that all the time. I've never been shown anything specific about the timing or about the lawsuit and how that will play out. I strictly I don't like dates, because things are always changing. And why do they change? They change because we all have free will choices. So every free will choice that is made by any of us at any given time, it affects everything else. Like it ripples out, right? And so I have just been told, be very patient, because when the switch happens, and some people will even argue that it's already happened, we just don't see it publicly, could very well be the case. I don't have any thoughts on that. I only speak to the revelation that I'm specifically given. And another thing too, people have been sending me a lot of videos and things to watch. So I don't watch a lot of people who kind of have dreams or visions or downloads, because I never want to be influenced by them, to have the download, to have the vision, to have the thing. And then I wake up or I get it and I start doubting myself. Oh wait, somebody else said that. So am I just saying that, or I thought that I saw that? I tried to keep myself just very connected, very pure in heart, with no emotions attached. Because remember, when I started having these dreams, I didn't know what any of this was. There's no emotions attached to me in this. I don't it just is what it is. If the Lord reveals something, and any of us are supposed to walk in any one of these paths and any of this stuff, then we will. And if we're not supposed to, then we won't. And we're gonna have to trust that. And there's a reason why. And sometimes our humanness doesn't want to understand the why behind all of those things. But what I can trust is what's in a name. I can trust what's in a name. And what is the revelation for you? What is your name going to do and carry forward into this generations that we're coming into as we walk into this new age? People keep talking about, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. It's the end of an age. The end times is the end of this age that we've been in, that has been very dark and very hard and very trying, very oppressive. And we're walking into a brand new age that looks nothing like that. There will be no feeble among us. We will be free, truly free in so many ways. Institutions and the towers that need to crumble in all facets of society and around the world, they will. Because they have to, because it can't go forward into that new age that way. We can't go into the new heavens and the new earth operating in this old system, because it doesn't align. There's no alignment in it. It would be very it's in disharmony. There has to be harmony in where we're going. And so I find peace in that. I find patience in that, because I know we can be a very impatient creature at times. So I just wanted to share that, and to really think about what's in a name. How are you the exchange rate peg for someone else? Not just in this financial system, but like there's so much more here, y'all. Everything is connected right now, everything. And in that, when you look at everything being connected in a circle, it's like you can start seeing how that exchange rate peg is in the institution of the government, in the institution of our school system, in the media, in my actual family with myself, and then with the arts and entertainment, those 7 mountains. I think it's Lance Wall now that talks about the 7 mountains of society. And it's like when you start connecting all of those things together and you see how every one of them folds into the next, we're going to see all of those start to crumble, because they have to crumble to be rebuilt. And who are going to be the people to rebuild it in a very kingdom principled, kingdom minded way for the world, for humanity? The earth, y'all, the earth is going through a cleansing right now. I know a lot of people are talking about global warming, and we're seeing all of these volcanoes and earthquakes and weather patterns, and all of these things are happening. Part of that is it's just the earth's cycle, and she has a natural way. I mean, we are creation that is sitting on top of creation. And there is a natural way to cleanse things and like the explosive energy. You ever gotten, this is just the example that I have received about it. It's like when you get really angry and you get really mad and you just explode and then you're like, I feel better because you let it out. The earth does the same thing. Like there is the energy that pushes on the tectonic plates. Oh, I need to do a video on plate blocking and earthquakes. So I've had tons of, I'm just gonna drop this here. This is just like a culmination of lots of things. But I've had lots of dreams about earthquakes, but in that it was not always, yes, there were physical and literal earthquakes, but it was also to teach me about the earth also releasing the way that we humans release our emotions in order to feel better, and that there's a cleansing and a purging of those things through the waters, through the land. Even animals, if you look at the way that animals, how they will behave during certain weather patterns, during earthquakes, tsunamis, they have a sense of it because we're all connected to the earth in a way too. So it's like this cyclical thing where we are all part of creation and how we can feel each other, and we have that intuitive intuition. Or, you know, people who are empaths, and you walk into a room and you're like, ooh, someone is real mad up in here. Or you walk into the room and you feel sad and you're like, why do I feel sad all of a sudden? And then you realize, oh, it's not me, I'm feeling them. It's a part of how we connect to each other because we can feel each other. And so I know that there's a ton of people who are having dreams right now about earthquakes and all of those things. And so we chalk this up to like, there's just going to be this huge, gigantic thing that's going to happen, and everyone's just going to die. Well, you can look at it that way, or you can go, there might be a really big earthquake, but it's going to change everything for really good because there's going to be a cleansing and we are going to reconnect with each other in it. Like there's just so many different things. And so when everyone tries to tell me something like bad that they've seen, I always have to look for the hope in it, because it's very easy to look at some of these things, even like dreams I've had. When I first started having dreams, honestly, I went into a deep depression for about 6 months because I didn't understand why I was seeing the things that I was seeing, but I didn't look for the hope in them. I wasn't asking for the revelation of the solution in them. It took me a long time to learn, like the Lord taught me in that. I showed you those things, but you never asked me for the solution. I showed you what was going on behind the scenes, but you didn't ask me for my eyes to see what I was going to do through that. And so I think that that's a place too of when we start hearing these things and seeing these things and we waver and we doubt and we question, like we have to be in a place of where, can you choose to see the hope in it, the love in it, the change that will be for the benefit of all and the good? Or are you someone who is constantly looking to see the negative, the bad, and we're all just going to die? Because that's not me. That's not where I am. That's not what I've been shown. It's not what I believe. And I'm not going to get in alignment with that. And I hope that you won't either. Kingdom reset alignment. That's all I'm in for. The frequency of heaven to drop down into this earth plane and all of us join together in love and happiness. And I know we're going to have a lot of cleansing that's going to have to take place. That was another thing though too. Okay, think about this. When you're talking about this technology that will connect financial institutions all over the world, right now we have certain banks that do that, and America has been this hub of control, okay? Is there a part of leveling the playing field that might come through a new financial system? Because the financial people right now have made all of us debtors. What in this new financial system will have more of a level playing field, equality across the globe when you're talking about financial systems? So think about that as well and ask, how could that be? How could this new technology cause that? How can I see that playing out? Can I be my own bank? Could I? Seen that in a dream, how it can be. So I think that's really cool. Do I understand all of how that's going to happen? No. Do I really care to understand all of it? No. I'm just trusting that what I've been shown is coming to pass, and being very patient in the timing. And no matter what my physical eyes see, I have to go on the faith and the hope and the trust of what I've been shown. I have an expectation of what I've been shown. I expect that to come to pass because I have been shown that. I believe it, I feel it, I hear it, And I can see it with my spiritual eyes, and I can also see it with my physical eyes, things that are happening right now. So I just hope that you can continue to walk in faith, walk in hope, walk in love, in peace, and don't give your peace away to anybody. Put your shoes on, get your combat boots on, your high heels, your tennis shoes, whatever it is that you like, put those on, strap them on, and don't give those shoes to anybody. That's your peace that's on your feet. Your peace gets taken, it's because you gave it away. You get to choose to keep those boots strapped on your feet, those high heels, little high heels or really big high heels. It doesn't matter. For me, it's tennis shoes right now. I'm in a place I need my tennis shoes on. And I strap those suckers on, and I cannot give my peace to anyone. No one is having my shoes. Not those shoes, not my sandals of peace. But if you need a pair of shoes, you can always ask me. I'll send you a pair of shoes. But I hope that you see the analogy that I'm trying to give. I'm not trying to say to not give when people need it, but I'm using it as an analogy for peace. You have a choice to keep your sandals of peace on at all times. And if you lose your peace, you have to go and go, where did I give that away? Who did I give that away from? And then take it back. Okay, I want to end this one here. I hope that you guys have a very blessed weekend, and I will see you next time.